Hey folks, welcome to DunxBildz. I'm Dunx, that's Sophie, and we're carrying on with part 2 of the FXZ 11... Oh gosh, I've even forgotten the number already. Good heavens. 112501 Tower of Orthanc. Thanks for carrying on with the series. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll rejoin the build already in progress. Alright. Hey folks, welcome back. It's been a couple of days since I was last working on Tower of Orthanc. We finished up stage 4 and we're about to move on to stage 5. Now, I did have a little present arrive in the mail a short time ago, a present to myself, so yep, I now have it set up so that I can get a close-up of that camera onto the build. A couple of people had said it would be a good idea to get some close-up shots, so hopefully this will be a bit more exciting viewing. We'll see. Let us know what you think down in the comments. It'd be really, really good to get your feedback. Meanwhile, I'm going to carry on working with stage 5, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 8 bags in this stage, slightly smaller than the other one so far. Stage 5 out of 9. Alright, time to switch on the tally and do some casual building. spine's dying, so time to get some sleep. I'll come back to this again tomorrow. Alright, we're back and we're building. Carrying on with stage 5 of the Tower of Orthanc. I have been shuffling the cameras around a little bit, so bear with me as I try and find some decent focus points and what have you. I'll be getting some booms in the next couple of weeks that'll make getting focus on this sort of area a little bit tighter. Meanwhile, I've just got this sort of lighting rig to play around with. Oh, onward and upward. Alright, so we finished the half of that next level. It's bag number 5, completed that thing up there. Sorry about the lights, I'll try and get some better lighting at some point. Make that out. There's a couple of loose pieces in there. Those book pieces are loose and not really attached to anything, so I ended up pulling them out halfway through just to make the build a little bit easier. But, and that pink wobbly thing I pointed out earlier, that ended up going into the middle of the Palantir stand there. I'm not sure what it's supposed to do. It doesn't appear to have any function that I've encountered yet. Oh well. Alright, moving on to bag 6, level 6, stage 6, the 6th theme. Back in a minute. Alright, back again, and we're going to carry on with the build onto stage 6. Now this has got 9 bags in this stage, so again, a bit smaller than some of the starting bags. Logically, they had a lot of larger pieces in them to build. So I think we're doing the second half of this area here. That half there. And that should cover where this piece swings out. Well, this piece swings out. There we go. So I'll be that part there. All right, back into it. Alright, so we're done with stage number 6. Just completed the tops of that tower thus far. And on to bag number 7 tomorrow. Time for me to knock it on the head for tonight. Alright, back again, and we're on to stage 7. This is a 9-bag stage, and again we're just carrying on up the Tower of Orthanc. So, into it. Alright, so that's the first half of the next stage completed. That was stage 8. That was a little tricky because a number of these vertical pieces are a little unstable until you've got this top grey level inserted. And there's a grey plate right at the back here which isn't really supported incredibly well. So when you're putting on the back pieces along here, it's a bit tricky to sort of keep in place. So I found that pulling the plate off and pinching them on there and then putting the plate on made a bit of difference in making it a bit more stable. Once you've got that grey plate on, it'll sort of tamps down into place, becomes a lot more stable. Anyway, so we'll move on to stage 8 very shortly. Alright, so we're going to roll along with stage 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 bags for this stage. Now hopefully it doesn't have the same trickiness that the other side did, but if it does I might look at putting some spare bricks in for that slightly unstable section I mentioned earlier, just to make it a little easier to build. I'm fairly sure I've got some spares lying around somewhere. Alright, so carrying on with stage 8. Alright, so that's the next level done. And the next section, which I'll move on to tomorrow, will be the top, and then we'll be all finished with a model. Awesome. Alright, catch you in a bit. Alright, welcome back. And we're now into the 9th stage of the build of the tower of Orthanc. There are 10 bags in this stage, so a little more than the past few. And that will finish up to the very top of the tower. I'll do a walk around once I finish the build. Alright, so let's knock this on the head. Well, thanks very much for sticking with me so far. So the tower is now complete. As I mentioned right at the beginning, this is a very, very large piece, 76 centimeters tall, about 46 centimeters across the base. Total build time, I'm really not sure because I don't really keep track of that. A couple of people asked me to put in build times. I've done about 25 hours of footage for this particular video. But that's just my pace, that's my casual building pace, obviously sped up throughout the course of this video. I couldn't give you, if you were dedicated, you could probably build this thing in under 10 hours and just knock it out, but my hands aren't particularly dexterous. You probably see some bits and pieces of footage in me there of knocking things over or having to rebuild a couple of pieces. I certainly don't claim to be a perfect builder, and these aren't really meant to be building guide videos. But I've enjoyed the build. There are some fiddly bits and pieces in there. You know, you see I mentioned platform down on the bottom, one of the bottom levels, which doesn't shut properly. I'm probably going to find a little two-piece and just stick it up underneath to keep that from staying open. There was one of the middle stages there where there's a grey flat piece that doesn't sit quite as well as it could do, and could probably use a couple of bricks holding it up in place just to make the building a little easier. It doesn't appear that it in any way alter any playability or cosmetic appearance of that particular area. If you put a couple of black bricks or dark grey bricks in there just to hold that in place and make it easier to build on. In terms of the quality of the piece, these aren't Lego bricks. They don't have quite the same clickability or stickability. I did find a number of times during the course of the build that some of the bracketing things will come off. That front piece here will very easily just come off and come loose. That's just a bit of a pain. I'll put that back on later. There's a number of loose pieces in there for playability, so there's shields and staves and various other pieces that are naturally loose, so generally I advise leaving those to one side until you've completed the build, and put them in there once you've got the piece assembled, like you might with the minifigs. So look, great build, really enjoyed it. That's been quite an engaging few days building that up. I think I started that on the 28th of August. It's now the 5th of September as I'm finishing up recording and about to start editing. So, you know, just taking my time over it as I tend to do with my builds. Yeah, so I would certainly recommend the build. Now, if you can find the guy who originally designed it, apparently this is a knockoff of a mock, so it would probably be wise to, and I would be certainly looking at flicking him a few dollars through his chosen funding method, just to recognise that his efforts in building this. If I can find that, I will put it in the link in the description below. If you have any comments, while I was developing this, you'll have seen that I've been playing around with camera angles, and you know, I got my second camera about halfway through. I'm still discovering best angles for shooting and using split camera techniques, as you can clearly see just here, right? Yeah, there we go. And playing around with microphone as well. I've got a better microphone coming in post, and I'm still learning to edit as well, so my sound levels and things like that are probably going to be all over the show. But look, constructive criticism is always welcome. Feel free to leave comments down below. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like on it. If you hated it, chuck a thumbs down. I don't really care. I'm doing this for fun, not for money. And sort of learning new skills along the way. So thank you again for bearing with me through this, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks very much, everyone.